Is it 30? Yep, it is. Okay. Okay, it's Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. The time is 5:30. We are now on record. The cameras are rolling. We're at City Hall Council Chambers at 1103 West Main Street. Call to order, please.
Council President Kaiser?
Here.
Councilman O'Meara?
Here.
Councilman Murray?
Indeed.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. If you have a hat on, please do it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have Jenica Reynolds will lead us all in prayer. I thank you, Jenica.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful this day to be able to come and meet together as the City Council. We're grateful for those that sacrifice and work so hard on our behalf as citizens of Middleton. We're grateful for our emergency responders and pray a special blessing upon them. We pray that now as we hold the proceedings of this meeting, that we can have productive discussion and be able to be uplifted and strengthened, that we can find and discover those things that are best for our residents in this city. We are grateful to live here. We are grateful for the bounteous blessings of freedom that we enjoy and understand that that does not come freely, but it comes with a cost. We pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay. The action item A is approve agenda.
Council, we have agenda posted before us. Any questions on said agenda? None. All right, hearing none, then I move we approve the agenda posted September 12th at 4:30 p.m.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Public comment on non-public hearing items of city business, 3 minutes each. Patrons will be called to speak at the podium based on a sign-in sheet posted in the back of the public meeting room. And we have one person, Tyson Sparrow. Could you, your name and your address?
Yeah, Tyson Sparrow, 211 North Campbell Avenue, Middleton, Idaho. Mayor and Council, I just come before you to so you guys did a wonderful job, Councilmember Murray, on organizing the heart that's across the street of Piccadilly. Your youth council, your adult advisors did a phenomenal job in spearheading that project and getting that project done. I just wanted to give you guys kudos for letting that committee be formed and having those youth get involved in the community. The other part of that is I saw on the agenda here, item number 5, regarding a special committee for 4th of July to have some appointments for residents at large to help with the parade and do things of that nature to keep the 4th of July the same way that we've always had it. One of the biggest problems that we've had in the past, having worked several 4th of Julys with, different organizations throughout town, is just people volunteering, not wanting to get involved in the community. One thing that I would pose to you guys as a council, instead of forming a committee this evening, maybe reach out to the youth council that did such a wonderful job on that heart and see if that's something that they're willing to spearhead, with the addition of a couple of adult advisors to maybe plan that. It's going to give them some life skills as far as organizing an event, going out and trying to raise some money for the fireworks. Just a thought, something that I think that we could do to greater involve our youth in our community. I think it would be awesome to maybe see that as a way to get them more involved. That's all I got.
Thank you. Information item number 1, Middleton High School update. Superintendent Gee, please.
City Council, Mayor, appreciate the opportunity and the invitation to come and share a little bit about what's going on in our district. Kind of a state of our district going forward as we start this new school year. We've had some wonderful things going on in the last over the last several weeks, just as school's been getting started. And as you're probably aware, we're in the middle of homecoming week, which is always an exciting time. Get all kinds of opportunities for our students to be involved in different activities throughout the week. We see some great things going on there. I kind of wanted to just take a few minutes and talk about some where we're at as a school district and what we're looking forward to. Some of the additions to our district facilities wise. Some of the things we're looking at coming forward. So to start with, we have increased in student numbers over the last several years. For a while there, we were climbing pretty steadily over the last 2 years, kind of a COVID lag, as far as the number of students that were born 5 years ago. We were seeing that kind of plateau, but we're back to increasing. Again, we're up 120 students over where we ended the school year last year. And I just was going to go through this and we are closed to open enrollment. There's a state law that requires that we receive open enrollment from other districts, students from other districts coming into ours, if we are below capacity. This year, for the first time since it's been built, the Middleton High School is over capacity at 101% of capacity, 1,572 students up there. The capacity is 1,550. The middle school also is 101% of capacity of 1,050. We're at 1,064. Purple Sage and many of our Middleton city residents and district patrons are aware of this, but we did make some elementary border shifts during this summer. Shifting some of those, we were at over 150% of capacity at Heights Elementary, and we needed to adjust that because Purple Sage was below capacity. So we had to try to start balancing that. The first attempt, and we could only do what we could fit within the building, and we have some spaces up there for some of our behavior programs and special needs programs where we need a little bit more space. So with the moves that we made, we are now at 96% capacity at Purple Sage, with 3 of the 6 grades closed to open enrollment. So we can look at that grade by grade as well. Heights Elementary went from that 158% of capacity down to 117% of capacity, just because we were able to move about 100 students from there to Purple Sage. Moved 100 students and we're still 117% of capacity. That was phase 1 of those moves. We're going to have another phase at the end of this school year. The school district has purchased additional portable classrooms that we'll be placing at Purple Sage to be able to receive new additional students. So we'll make one more shift of elementary boarders in this next summer. And we kind of gave a lot of those families forewarning of where we kind of intend, but we kind of have to wait till we get to the end of the summer, end of the spring to get those for sure. Mill Creek Elementary is at 113% of capacity at 693 students. Our academy has 90 students. Middleton Academy actually has a lot more space, but it's intentionally small. We try to keep those classes closer to 15 per classroom. So there is room at the academy. So we're in a position, we've got a lot of students going through our schools, and our schools are wonderful. There isn't a better place for our students to be able to gain the education that they need than Middleton School District and the schools that we have here, the teachers that we have, making the best of those situations. To that end, we did try to pass an elementary school bond last year. That elementary school bond did not pass at 53%. We need 66%, 66 and 2/3. Can't forget the 2/3. It will matter, I'm sure, at some point. So we are in the process of looking at some alternatives for that elementary school. The immediate alternative was shifting the borders just to get some balance. But we are looking at the red brick building. That's an old red brick building that used to be an elementary school. We just had a cost estimate done. It would take about $10 million to renovate that, to bring it up to code so that students could be in that building again. And so we're looking at that. There is the potential for some additional state funds that we'll be going through a process with the state to apply for. If those funds come through, we may start a portion of the elementary school that we were looking for, and that would be something if we get these funds, then we would do that without taxpayer dollars. We'd just get it going. It would maybe build half the school. But that would be something we're looking at. We're looking at the possibility of building smaller pieces, adding on to some of our existing schools. None of those are really the best bang for your buck, the most efficient way of using those dollars, but those are options that our board is looking at. But there are some bright spots in terms of our facilities. And one of those bright spots is we are opening the CTE building, our CTE construction building that we started building in January, February. Though that building is paid for completely out of, completely without local taxpayer funds. We received a grant for $1.125 million from the state that we wrote for that grant and were awarded. We're using some of our state modernization funds. And we had a local business, R&M Steel, that donated all of the steel for that building. So it was quite a conglomeration of folks bringing that together. And we are going to be opening those doors. They were laying sod today. We went and did the punch list today. We're we're working with Middleton City to have those final inspections this week. And then we need to get the dust collector in, but we are planning for a ribbon cutting open house on October 6th and we'll be sending some formal invitations to you as a city council, to mayor and other city staff. We want to make sure that you're all a part of that exciting event in our district. But I do want to make sure everybody put it on your calendars now. And that goes for everybody here too. And everybody, whoever's online, wherever your camera is. We really want people to see that it's a neat building, and it's specific for our construction and carpentry programs, and that is for all of our students in the district. It's built behind Middleton Academy, but we have Middleton High School students and Academy students that are coming down. We're going to be looking at middle school exploration because of its location. We can bring them there, just to help expand the opportunities in that construction area. And we are looking to continue to expand our CTE, which is career technical education. So those are things like construction, agriculture, health services, so nursing, sports medicine, all of those kind of things. We are really looking to expand those opportunities for our students, and we see some great opportunities at maybe expanding in additional buildings. Maybe we built this building with the idea we could add on an auto tech program if we were able to get the funding for that as well. So we're going to keep going, and it's an exciting time to see that project that's really been 2.5 years in the making, even though it hasn't really been on the radar of a lot of people as where we're building it. It's a neat opportunity. But if anybody wants to see it, straight down Viking Drive past the district office and back past the academy, and that's where we're at. Another thing that we had that I wanted to draw attention to is the opening of our soccer practice fields up on the high school campus. And I say that primarily because I want to make sure it's clear, and this is something that's kind of been a misconception among folks, that is also being done with donated funds. We had a generous donor who provided all of the funds to put that field in. The district was responsible for getting the power hookups for any lighting that might come in, and then sidewalk and fencing. So we paid for those things. That the rest of that field was completely done with a donor that provided those funds. And so we're really grateful for that, but it does provide an opportunity, and we're still working through some of the kinks. We got to get people off of 9th Street. We got to make sure they're not parking there, and we got a few things to work out, but we're going to keep working. That donor is also looking at providing additional phases. Our main soccer field, moving that to turf, and maybe one other spot as well. So that's a neat thing that's going on, and again, able to move the district forward, provide even better facilities for our students without having to do that through taxpayer dollars. And I say that leading into one other thing that we do need some help from our taxpayers. As you may be aware, we do every 2 years ask our patrons to approve a supplemental levy. That levy started at about $300,000 back in the early 2000s, $300,000 a year, and it's kind of progressively gone, followed the cost of living, followed the inflation that's gone on, and we are going to be asking for our patrons to vote this fall for a $2.47 million levy. It'll be again a 2-year levy. What we would be using that for is primarily the same as we've been using it, and that's we have a number of teaching positions that are paid out of that levy. A lot of our teacher aides are paid out of that levy. One of our SROs is paid out of that, and we're actually looking to expand that to increase the number of security personnel that we have within our district. Curriculum adoption is part of that. The pay to play, so when our students participate in extracurricular activities, there is a fee that's associated, but the district tries to defray a lot of those costs. And so we put in $400,000 to $500,000 every year just to help those activities move forward. But if the levy were not to pass, we would have to pass some of that additional cost back to the families to participate in those activities. Technology, we have a lot of the one-to-one devices that our students work with that are coming to the end of their lifespan, and we're looking for a plan of how to year by year move those into new computing devices. But it's more than anything, it is an increase this year, but it's more than anything, it's an increase because of the increase in prices of everything. Everything costs more now. All of those same things that we used to be able to do for $1.6 million, it takes 2.4 to do. So we are going to be we're going to be putting information out. In fact, I'll be leaving here and going to an information meeting at our elementary school, here one of our elementary schools tonight. We have other meetings that we'll be doing throughout the next month. But we want to make sure that you as a council are aware that that's something that will be on the ballot for this coming coming election. And with that, I would stand for any questions that you might have. Mayor Hutchins.
I had a hard time getting past, you're telling me the middle school has 1,400 children?
The high school
The high school.
Has 1,572.
And the middle school?
The middle school has 1,064.
Okay, but 1,000 kids.
Over 1,000 kids, yes. It's a lot of kids, a lot of middle schoolers
And when the
running
bell
around.
rings, you have 1,000 kids running through the halls.
Yes. Well, they don't run through the halls.
No, of course not. Of
They
course
walk
not.
respectfully through
Yes,
the halls.
yes. And then go to use the restrooms. How many restrooms?
I could not tell you how many.
I hope
restrooms
a lot.
we have many restrooms. We have 4 different buildings on that campus. A lot of different restrooms. So.
Well, I'm very proud of you and all the work you do to keep it running with such limited funds.
Well, it's not just me. It's
Your whole team.
I stand up and talk. Everybody else does the work.
Yeah, you're not a me, I guy.
Well, I'm not.
Okay.
Even though I just said I.
Thank you for all
thank
you do.
Appreciate it. Oh, Mr. Factor.
In this new levy, cost per 100,000
Cost per 100,000 is $58 per 100,000.
compared to what was-
Compared to it, like I said, it's an increase.
Yes.
Compared to 35 this
Okay.
year. But I want to call attention, if I could just, one thing that I think our taxpayers need to recognize as well, That is the cost of the levy, but we also have a bond that we've been paying that we have to levy each year. The cost of that bond has actually been going down steadily over the years. So in 2020, the cost of that bond was $214 per 100,000. The cost of the levy at that time was $81 per 100,000. Together, that was $295. This next year, what we'll be levying for this coming year, we approximate that the bond will be $9, down from $214 to $9, and a lot of that comes from the legislature. Property tax relief bills that they have passed, that they pass straight to these kind of bonds and levies. So what you actually see is we've gone from $295 in 2020 total that we were asking, and that's per 100,000 per year, down to $44 this year is what we'll be asking. So we're at $44 this year. We'll be asking our community to look at $58 a month, and that is if everything stayed the same as last year. That doesn't include any of the new growth. That doesn't. I just can't put those dollar numbers in there because I don't know what they are. So we based them on this last year.
Yes, 100%. So we're saving money in the last.
We are absolutely every dollar that comes in for property tax relief, we put right back in there to pay these things down. I mean, we would anyway, but we also have to. So, yeah.
Councilman Murray?
What was your high school population again, Mark?
1,572.
And if you renovated the old building, what would its capacity be?
We haven't determined that yet because some of those classrooms are larger. That we are considering actually breaking those into multiple classrooms. We would anticipate that we could fit roughly 200 students in that building.
Okay. With adequate common areas?
There's a cafeteria in that building, but that's the only common area that you have besides the halls.
Okay. Doesn't really matter because they're special cases, but what's your capacity at the academy?
The capacity of the academy is 200.
Okay.
Yeah, if we were to fill that up the way that it could be by code, we would be at about 200. And we generally, and I should make a point on that. Generally, we'll work up to about 140, 150 students within a year. The academy kind of fluctuates throughout. The first part of the year is when it is at its lowest, just because most people have made the adjustments they need to make to move towards graduation. We're really trying to help people get towards graduation. But as the year goes on, students start to recognize I'm not in a position to graduate where I'm at, and so they make a transition to the academy to try and help that. So you'll see that fluctuate between 90 and 150 throughout the year.
Well, it seems like the renovating the old building isn't the most cost-effective method because you're going to get about 10 million, you're going to get 200 students. For about 25 million, you're going to get 700, correct? So I'd rather not have to go down that route. But
I would too, but we have to, we're in a position we have to evaluate all of our options as they go, and evaluating that allows us to apply for some of these state funds that maybe we'll be able to use to get that elementary started.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I am going to just look out to get to the next meeting.
And I'll talk to you
Thank you, Mark.
tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Action items?
Oh, sorry. All right, first action item is our consent agenda. Consider approving minutes for City Council September 3rd, ratifying payroll for September 5, and accounts payable through September 12th. Any question on the consent agenda items? Accounts payable was status quo. Nothing new in there. Okay, hearing none, I move we approve consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, number 2, regarding cross-country meet. Consider authorizing the mayor to approve special community event application for Middleton Middle School for a cross-country meet on September 18th, 2025. Ms. Hobbs, please.
Mayor and Council, we discussed this last meeting, but this is just a formal application for the cross-country meet tomorrow.
Okay.
well, it's got a last minute.
Well, we talked about it last week because of the timing.
Yeah.
All right, easy peasy. I move we authorize the mayor to approve special community event application for Middleton Middle School Cross Country Meet on September 18th and waive any appropriate fees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number 3, regarding community trunk or treat event, consider authorizing the mayor to approve a special community event application for GMPRD for a community trunk or treat event on October 30th, 2025. Ms. Hobbs and Ms. Flores.
Mayor and council, this is Ms. Flores. She's going to be the point of contact for you to talk through the event.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Thank you guys for having me. I'm here on behalf of the Middleton Parks and Recreation to share some exciting news. So we are going to be hosting our second annual trunk or treat the evening of October 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's followed by a movie in the gym at 8:30 p.m. We will be showing Harry Potter. So we're planning for this year's event to be even bigger and better than the last year. We'll be closing the parking lot at the community center, asking attendees to park at the LDS church near the middle school. So we've already talked and planned that with them, and they are good to go with it. The trunk or treat will be set up in the lot next to the tennis courts, and we'll have games, bounce houses, and 3 food vendors. So a food truck, ice cream truck, and a coffee truck. Set up in the front of the community center that'll help draw attention and create a lively atmosphere. This event is a great opportunity for our community. It's safe, it's family friendly, and it's conveniently located right in the heart of town. So tonight we're kindly asking for your support in waiving all event related fees, including those for food trucks and vendors. Last year's trunk or treat was a huge success. So with your support, I really feel that this will be even better. Thank you. Questions?
Councilman Murray.
Oh, no, not a question for you. You know, throughout the year, we do these kind of special event permissions, and usually they're, you know, repeat, they're the same things over and over. So I think we should look at, you know, in January each year, just getting the Chamber, Parks and Rec, whoever usually does that, and just doing a blanket presentation and approval, so we don't have to have them come down throughout the year.
Not a bad idea. Knock them all out at once.
They have the only caveat that I could see is that they would have to commit to doing it for that year, and sometimes they're not aware at the beginning of the year. But yeah, we can reach out.
Yeah, and so just an FYI with this too, we are not charging for the parking for our trunk or treaters, like those people that are participating to be a part of our trunk or treat, we are not charging for that. We're not charging for anything. We're not even charging food vendors or anything like that. The only thing we are charging for is for our chili cook-off. And that's just basically to kind of offset the cost for the first or second place winners. But that's really it. Like when I say family friendly, it is family friendly, and it is something that was just in my heart to continue to start to do, and my staff have been amazing to support me on it, to you know, to continue to start this off. I mean, I really feel like being at the heart of the town, why not have a trunk or treat?
Well, we heard nothing but great things after last year, so.
Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah. So
Okay.
thank you.
I move we authorize the mayor to approve a special community event application for Greater Middleton Parks and Recreation Department for the community trunk or treat event on October 30th and waive all appropriate fees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Number 4, regarding youth council reappointment, consider approving the reappointment of current members of the Middleton Youth Council to serve through 30 days prior to the start of 2026-2027 school year. I'm a little confused on the year.
The term would expire 30 days before next year's school year starts.
Next year's school year. Okay. According to the official Middleton School District calendar. Councilmember Murray, please.
Oh, not much to say. We just have to reappoint the same kids we did last time. They did a fantastic job. No complaints, no bad behavior. I mean, you saw the product of their work, so this is just a rubber stamp in my mind.
All right. Easy. All right, then I move we approve the reappointment of the current members of the Middleton Youth Council to serve through 30 days prior to the start of the 26-27 school year according to the official Middleton School District calendar.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number 5, regarding 4th of July Parade and Fireworks Advisory Committee. Consider approving Ordinance 714, an ordinance enacted by the Middleton City Council amending Title I, Chapter 5, creating Section 1-5-10 of the Middleton City Code pertaining to the creation of 4th of July Parade and Fireworks Advisory Committee, providing for an effective date, providing for servability, and repealing all ordinances, resolutions, orders, and parts of thereof in conflict herewith. Councilman Murray.
First, I'd just like to brag that Douglas didn't even make me change anything. I got it completely 100% right the first time this time, so. Nothing, Douglas?
I'm smiling.
Okay. So, as everybody knows, earlier this year, the chamber announced that they would no longer be planning the parade past this year's. I thought Parks and Rec had agreed to take it over and found out that was completely wrong. So we've lost 2 months of planning towards next year's parade. I'm hoping to form this committee so that we can assume the duties that the chamber used to do so we can continue having our parade. And more than likely, when the Spratlys finally decide they're too tired to do the fireworks anymore, we'll take over that as well.
So,
Glad we finally got something moving on that.
well, is this something you're hoping to do year after year after year?
Yeah.
Okay.
As of right now, there's no budget line item for it. It's not funded. There's no burden on the city staff other than normal, filing of agendas, public meetings, minutes, etc.
Well, the city did, we are contributing 17,000 towards fireworks. The rest will be donations but Monica told me that she did have a conversation with you. The city had already had a meeting a couple months ago, and we had already talked to the owners that did the fireworks in the past, as I had explained to Tim O'Mara, and they agreed to do it again this 4th.
Yeah.
The other part of that equation was the fire department and the police department and with the help of Monica and myself, had worked towards redesigning a new route because at the parade this year, we had overflow into Piccadilly Park, so we need a different route to hold all the future parade events, or what do you call them, the people that are in the parade.
Floats and all that.
Yeah, and
Participants.
yeah, and the other thing we'd already done was we set up another meeting to next month, at which time we were going to be making more decisions and then coming before council and updating them on what all of our plans were. But I was spearheading that, and with the help of the rest of the team, and you're aware of all that because she explained it to you. But if you want to take it on, just understand that the police and the city will do what they've done in the past as far as security and blocking off the roads, that kind of thing. But the rest, the city employees won't get paid. They can't. I've talked to all of them. None of them want to work. So you have all your information, and if you want to take it over, then be my guest.
Well, this would open up participation to city residents and county residents. There's 4 seats for city, 2 for county residents, 2 council members. There's no burden on city staff. I just think it's a way to transition it over.
So if I understand correctly, then the city was starting to plan these events?
I was spearheading it,
Okay.
and I wanted to bring in the police and the fire department because they worked in the past.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, some of the Jason Van Gilder's employees worked it, and they got paid double time and a half or something like that. They used to be forced to work it without pay, and then in the past, you folks had allowed them to start getting paid for that. Monica, because she did so much help with the event concerning the heart. I mean, I asked her about it. She goes, I don't know, 40 to 60 phone calls and emails. And I said, well, I'm not going to put you through that. But in the beginning, I would like you to set up the meetings, and she's set up 2 so far. But it's all been on a volunteer basis.
But I'm confused a little bit. Where was the plan for this to be going?
And to clarify, that was, Mayor, you were wanting to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country, which was where she was like, yep, city will be all in, we will help celebrate that really well. But at that time it wasn't, and we're gonna take this on forever and ever.
We're gonna work.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm
It was also going to be doing pretty much what Council Murray and his committee, and I'd be happy to turn it over to them.
Because I was trying to understand, because we had talked prior to that the city was not going to take it over.
No, absolutely
But
not.
then you're telling me that the city kind of was, if you were spearheading it.
No, they're not. They're going to be doing what they were doing in the past and nothing more.
Okay, because simply in the past was a small financial obligation, and then
Yeah.
the 4 gentlemen that
Yes,
worked, and then that was,
and the police department,
well, they're
to
yeah,
block off the roads.
a little bit different deal with them, but, okay.
Yep.
So in this ordinance, as I read through it, just so I'm 100% clear I didn't miss something, that we are not, what happens if we don't get 8 members to step forward?
I mean, as long as we have enough to form a quorum, I suppose we can move forward. I know one guy is acquired already online.
Okay.
I think Tim is interested in one of the seats.
Okay.
But, if we can't get enough members, then it just dies. But that's on the citizens of our community, so.
And then financially, there's no obligations I see in here for the city at all, in terms
No.
of, other than what we've already done, right?
No, but as an advisory committee, they do have the ability to come to council if they want some funds, which we could, use the discretionary fund for or something. So for example, we've had some issues in the wet zone with some unknown person freezing water balloons and
Yeah.
chucking them at vehicles. One poor gal got hit in the face and needed surgery. So we're gonna have to look at, are we keeping the wet zone or is it going away? If we're keeping it, how are we going to work to ensure that it's safe, so event security for the day, possibly cameras on every, 8th or 10th float, so that if something does happen, you go back, pull that footage, and make an example of that, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or, police
So-
it if you shut down the wet zone, you gotta police that too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts there.
So there is the potential that there is a cost to it, but it would still come back to council to approve whatever funding.
Okay.
I'd like to point out that even if it is not really recognized as a cost to the city, you are using city property for this fireworks display. And it will have to be coordinated with the school district, because that's where your next year's plan is to have them at the middle school football field. So there could be some coordination there with the city. I don't think that it's actually financially a commitment, but you're talking about using the city's alfalfa field.
Right.
And making sure that it's planted in alfalfa this year rather than in a grain crop that could be ignited again. Mm-hmm. So there is some money there, but I don't think it's actually a burden to the city myself.
Well, I know
I
the
just wanna
fireworks,
make sure we
taking over the
don't know that.
fireworks would be a burden to the city.
The fireworks themselves is already a burden.
It's
They're
a burden,
already
but I
participating.
understand that, but the city participates in ways they can. I mean, our budget is as tight as it can be. I'm less concerned with a fireworks display than I am a safe intersection or a safe crosswalk. So that's why I just want to clarify that nothing, the city, this is just, we're forming a committee, and if the committee doesn't form, then I don't know where it goes from there. We're not going to rely on city staff to do this job. Clear, very good. Councilman Murray.
When it comes to future funding for fireworks, I was thinking about throwing that out to the kids on youth council and see if that's something they're interested in doing fundraisers for, to help defray that cost.
Good idea.
Car washes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what has worked really good in the past for Parks and Rec when they were doing it, to get extra funding, was to charge for the parking to come. And if we can get the youth advisory council to man the parking lot,
Well,
you
remember,
could
they're
bring in
minors.
a lot of money there.
Yeah, that's a whole big bridge you guys can cross when it comes.
Yeah, it's
Big
absolutely
bridge.
down the road. But
Okay. All right. Not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was a little concerned. I didn't want to burden the city or the city staff with this events. Not that I don't see a tremendous value in them. I attend them myself. Love them. I
think that was part of the problem why Councilman Murray has stepped forward with this, is because City of Flores, who was just here, was more than happy to aid in that coordination, but not take the program over. Just the same as the city, the Parks and Recreation District doesn't have the staff to say, hey, you gotta go work the 4th of July. They don't wanna work on the 4th of July any more than anybody else does. And so that's kind of why David's put this together.
I agree.
Well, in my mind, this is a way for the citizens, not just of the town, but of the greater Middleton community, to put their money where their mouth is. There was a lot of outrage when the chamber said, we're not gonna do this anymore. And if people wanted to continue, then they can step forward and give their time.
Agreed 100%. All right. I like it better than when I first read it. Thank you for the explanations, guys. All right. Any other thoughts, concerns, otherwise on the ordinance?
I do want to say that I've never done anything this big. I've done big things, but nothing this big. And if you get to a point, I'm available. I'd be happy to volunteer. I'm not going to work the parking lot because it's awfully hot and I'll probably faint. But I can work with you.
Yep.
All right. Then I move we read ordinance 714 by title only.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Council President Kaiser?
Yes.
Councilman O'Meara?
Yes.
Councilman Murray?
Yes.
Ordinance 714 reads, an ordinance enacted by the Middleton City Council amending Title I, Chapter 5, creating Section 1-5-10 of the Middleton City Code pertaining to the creation of a 4th of July parade and fireworks advisory committee, providing for an effective date, providing for severability, and repealing all ordinances, resolutions, orders, and parts thereof in conflict herewithin. We'll waive the 3 reading rule for ordinance number 714. Remove that.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Council President Kaiser?
Yes.
Councilman O'Meara?
Yes.
Councilman Murray?
Yes.
I missed a step in there, Douglas. I felt like I did.
I felt like you did too, but I don't see where it would have been. It just happened so fast.
Yeah.
You waived the 3 reading rule and I
Oh,
put down
adopting
the
the
ordinance.
ordinance.
And you adopted the ordinance and it was a roll call vote. That sounds like everything.
Did not sound right when it came out.
Number 6, regarding surplus for Middleton Police Department, consider approving resolution number 530-25, a resolution of the mayor and the council of the city of Middleton, Idaho, authorizing the sale of certain personal property to the city of Wilder Police Department. Ms. Hobbs.
Do we want to go back and adopt it instead of just approving the reading of it?
I think that the record reflects that it was intended to be adopted, so I don't think that is going to be a problem. So
Okay.
I think we're good to
Yeah, he
move
said
on.
he was
Okay.
going to 3 reading.
It's okay.
Okay. Yes, Mayor and Council, we are at the same place we were last meeting to surplus some tasers.
Yeah.
This time it's with Wilder instead of Parma. That is before you.
Outstanding.
I asked for one. They were for sale.
I think we should test them before we surplus them. Tim, I heard you volunteer, didn't you?
No, I've seen what happens with those. Thank you very much, Tim.
Sergeant Hilke's here, he can volunteer for that.
Take it outside and on property.
All right, then I move we approve resolution number 530-25.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number 7, zoning workshop, Ms. Stewart.
All right. Get set up for a little bit. Just will be a little bit. You want to take
I guess that's, Roberta, how long do you anticipate?
Can we take a break?
If you want to, if somebody needs to use the restroom, maybe do that.
Yeah, it was good when we kicked the kids.
Okay, sounds good. We have the kids come up.
You mean the kids don't want to do a zoning workshop?
We'll take a 3-minute, well, 5-minute break for the seniors to come up and get their documents signed.
Come on up, guys, you get to get out early. And gals. One guy, 2 guys and gals.
I don't know, David. I think
Buddy?
I get out early.
That's right.
There we go.
Thank you.
Is he working tonight?
Step right up.
Oh, no, we only work Monday.
Okay.
Use the word like that. It doesn't exist.
You guys, enjoy.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for attending.
You're very welcome.
How's it going, Douglas?
Good, I'm just sending you.
Oops, hold a second. Oh my, that's one half a baby. You? Yeah. You can't do that. Is that your first? So life just changed. I swear I love my grandbaby more than my own kids. I swear. I know. Oh, mine's at 4, and I just love it. Oh, where they at? Really? Central California? Oh, okay.
He came up, been on the church function.
Yeah. Yeah. And you never know what happens. That's so awesome. I hope so. It is. I was talking to my husband today.
Kids are doing well. Everybody gets it.
It's not. No. It's good.
Did you?
I did. I listened to it this morning. I had cancer so-and-so. What?
Oh, she's
And I had to take Laura Loomer on. And I'm like, Laura, I believe Tucker and Candace, why don't you shut up? Something's obviously doing you.
Sorry? Yes, I did. I have one in my mouth.
Just for you.
Oh, no, you're not supposed to be doing that.
I sit married.
I'll get spoiled.
You know, he's like those things.
Good. Check, please make sure, sir.
I met you a few times. Citizens Advisory Committee, Fire Department.
Yeah.
Again. You know what they're doing? Just go around, assuming you're still firework.
I am, yeah, I have someone running against me this year, but, yeah, I'm solid for it. So, what's your question now?
Just wondering if they were, are they gonna work out the committee? Have you heard anything? I haven't heard anything from Robin or the chief.
No, I have not. Not at all. But, doesn't mean it won't pop up.
That's gonna be
Well,
interesting.
somebody killed him. The little kid killed him, but somebody got him. What it was is like, are you going to do this propaganda about Christianity that evil?
We'll probably run at it again, but I don't know if we'll do it this fall.
In the middle of Satan's work.
Okay, because there's so many other things on the ballot.
100%.
I never was discussing it. Probably
I saw that. He was looking in his lifetime to get 20,000.
I'd like to see us do it again, but
In a week.
you
That's
know,
a turning
at
point.
some point, you're kind of banging your head against the wall.
Interesting.
Kind of like the school district is right now.
Good though. I really think.
I mean, that red brick building that they're talking about in rehabbing, my son went to school there 40-some years ago.
What is that?
It's been vacant since then, used
You know what? I'm
before
tired,
food
and
storage
I'm
for
gonna
the
keep this,
school
if
district's
at all possible,
cafeterias.
very high level. I'm just too tired to even play. It's the same stuff
Some
with beans.
experience.
I'm actually gonna
I
report
started
on
my
beans.
career out in the small town department in one
Well,
horse town.
then you might find it interesting.
And I watched the growing pains.
We are changing the culture a little bit.
Pitched to Kevin Allen's department,
No,
all the other things like that.
yeah. And I'm hoping it'll be short. I'm tired. I'm just tired.
I've got to do the Middleton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who? Me? Oh, please. I don't watch videos. Please.
Okay, the time is 6:19 and we are back. Ms. Stewart, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Councilman. I'm hoping, this is deemed a workshop, but I'm hoping to kind of talk to you really from a level of 30,000 feet, kind of just general. I'm really looking for guidance and vision before, so I know where to put my time, you know, as we try to look at our zoning codes. And so, and also tonight,
Came to the wrong guy for vision. Sorry, I couldn't.
30,000. You can see from 30,000. So we can get into the weeds tonight, or if you're tired like me, we could do this a second night as we kind of, you know, hone down where we're going. So I really want to just kind of report. I did a 2-hour workshop with PNC. They're very enthusiastic people, every last one of them. And I just want to report to you their vision. And then you guys decide and let me know kind of where you want to go from there. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight. So let's just start from the beginning. For people in the audience, in February of this year, we approved our new comprehensive plan, and it came along with new future land use maps. And now, as promised, we're starting to look at our zoning and see if we can make our zoning more complementary to our comp plan. One thing that came out in the comprehensive plan process, which took over a year and a half, was that something we all know, but we need to concentrate on. If you're a bedroom community and you're more rural or you're a big suburban lot, you will be paying more to service your lots than you will be taking in. I'm not going to use the word revenue. It isn't revenue. You will be paying more to serve the lots than the tax money that you're getting for those lots. It's not revenue. And then there comes a point where it switches. And so just looking at this broadly, if you have on the left side real low rural lots, it's like $1,000 city will pay $1,000 per acre to serve it without getting any taxpayers money to compensate. And the higher density, when you start getting into high suburban density, it starts to even out. You're taking in as much tax as the expenses to provide schools, police, fire, roads, you know, stormwater, all these things that cities do. As it gets higher, it starts to flip. If you have low urban and you have what?
Sorry, you remember Ben Levenger gave us a number, an average number of homes per acre that we would have to go up to if we wanted to balance out that cost ratio.
I don't remember that, but to me, he didn't know exactly our tax, and I wonder if it would be accurate anyway.
Okay.
There might be a general calculus, but I don't remember it. But as a general rule, you can see that the higher the density, the more commercial, the more industrial. You all know this. I'm just repeating what you already know. Then all of a sudden it switches and you're taking in more tax than you're servicing. And that's a healthier city. Frankly, you're not running in the red year after year after year. So that's one of the problems here, because if you're veering towards a bedroom community, you're going to run at a deficit. And because our residential base is higher than a healthy city would be, we're prone to run at a deficit. And that's what we would like to fix. So the next thing we can look at, just to refresh your memory, is this is our future land use map. I'll call it the plum. And it is in an area of potential growth of the city. And this is the vision that this council had, that as city parcels annex in, this is generally what the city would like to see occur. And so just to remind everybody, I hope you can see this as Highway 44 running from west over here, I-84 to Kingsbury on the east. Generally, along Highway 44, there was a commercial corridor, and then it was transitioning to this little brown line, high density transition, which also involved a little bit of mixture of commercial. In the heart of Middleton, around the kind of the Ridley's area, down to Piccadilly Park, that was deemed transitional And transitional was a mixture of high-density residential and medium commercial. So, and then when you look at the yellow on the outer regions, you'll see that it transitions outward towards more open density, larger lot residential. So what we hope to do is bring our zoning into this context. It fits okay now. It could be better. And that's what I want to do, get it better. You want to do that, I'm sure, too. And so talking with you guys, you can help guide me where you want me to go. This is no longer maybe relevant, but to get the conversation started with P&Z, this is what I gave to them to show them how we could maybe come in more in line with the FLUM. And it was, if you look at the blue lines here, to keep that like the C2 commercial, which it actually is zoned at today, so there's nothing new there. Then this purple line here, basically going up to 2nd Street on the north and, down to the bottom of the middle school on the south. That would be more of a mixed-use zone, just a mixture of commercial and residential. They thought that was great. They kind of liked that vision. It matched the FLUM. They did say here on this little, just to the east of Ridley's, there's a wooded parcel, about 6 acres. The people who owned it died, and it's now coming in commercial. They said they want to see that strictly commercial. A fellow named Darcy Magan and other heirs actually own it, and they really are getting ready to bring in a subdivision here soon. They've been talking about it for over a year. No residential there, P&Z said, and that's fine. So the first thing P&Z said, and I believe Mike Grafe was there, I can't remember, but they hate R3. They hate the term R3, because if you have 3 homes per acre, then each lot should be strictly a third of an acre, and of course that's not how our R3 works. And so they're fine with higher density. Just don't call it R3. I'm fine with that. Okay. So then they, to my surprise, moved into, hey, and we like some other zones we'd like to add. And for the sake of just getting away from R1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they said let's call them zone A's through G, and they could be named later. And we worked for 2 hours on this. They had a little bit of guidance from me, but this is generally what they said. So I'm just going to tell you. Let's start with zone A. They said they would like to see a multifamily with apartments and townhomes, so that'd be single family attached, but also duplexes, triplexes, and apartments. They want to increase the height to 40 feet for those kind of buildings. They want the front setback to be, they couldn't decide, 15 or 20 feet. They were split. So the front setback, now our front setbacks are 20, 25, but they said 15. They said density should remain at 12 units per acre. Staff have noted that if you're dealing with apartments, 12 units is very low for apartments. It can be much, much higher than that. And I can look at other cities and figure out generally what they're doing. So that's their multifamily zone A. Then they moved on to zone B, a type of, for lack of a better word, patio home. Small, single family, detached. Minimum lot size, 4,500 square feet. They said frontage 45 wide. Setbacks on the side, 7. They were even thinking as low as 5, but I told them that Chief Victor Eastless complains about the air conditioner compressor getting in the way. There's just not enough room for fire equipment. So 7 feet, they went with 7 feet. Street side setback would be 20 still. Then they said if there's an alley load on these patio homes, which happens quite a bit, they don't mind the front setback going down to 15 feet. But if it's a front load, garage on the front, then they want the front to be 20 feet. And then the rear would be 20 feet, and the patio can be at 10. So then zone C was single family detached again, 6,000 square feet. Now our R3 lots are at 8,000. So now they've gone to 4,500, now they're at 6,000 square feet, 60 wide. Front setback at 25 for garage, 20 for living space, and that's our code today. Side setbacks on these, 7 feet. Street side would be 20. Rear setback, 10 feet. Rear setback, 10 feet. Rear setback, 10 feet. I might have got that wrong, but
You have a patio 10 feet if your house is 10 feet.
yeah, I think I put that in wrong. I think it's 20. Rear setback is 20. That's me, and that doesn't make sense, so I'm sure that was me. Zone D would be our typical R3, 8,000 square foot, 75 wide. That's a large lot in most cities. Front setback at 25, same. Living would be at 20, side at 10, street side at 20, and rear would be 20 with a patio at 10. And you know why we do street side at 20? For vision triangles. So if you're on the corner lot, you need to bring your house back a little more so you can see at intersections. Zone E is, they said, 10,000 square feet and 90 foot wide frontage. Front setback at 25, living at 20, side at 10, street side 20, the rear at 20, and then the patio, of course, goes in 10 feet. Then they said we were getting tired at this point. F zone, leave it as R2, as currently codified. G zone, R1 is currently codified. So that's what they hammered out in a couple of hours. That's their opinion on just bringing more diversity or vibrancy to our zone. Right now, R1, R2, R3 is pretty limited. So, you know, we also talked about some issues that have been coming up with me. People who are staring out their backyard into the breakfast nook of their neighbor behind them, and the 6-foot fence doesn't cover someone eating their Kellogg's cornflakes, and they're like thinking, you know, maybe move our privacy fences up 7 or 8 feet, because I get a lot of complaints about that. And they said, yeah.
No, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
And then the other thing that they, this is leading into another issue that we really need to talk about. I told them that we're trying to find easier ways to get commercial into the downtown area. Downtown area from Piccadilly to, you know, almost Ridley's area right there. The lots are hard and difficult. There's floodplain and a huge amount of them, which raises them up, and it affects parking, it affects slopes. They can't meet their parking requirements. And there's no pressurized irrigation down there on some of those lots too. The city does not like to water landscaping on city water, but they can't get pressurized irrigation down there because everything's so old. I mean, when all those lots were put in 80, 90 years ago, they didn't have pressurized irrigation. So that's another problem for somebody who wants pretty landscaping. So we really are trying to find ways to help get that corridor looking nicer, and the city was probably going to have to make some compromises. But that's coming up, and that's part of the bigger conversations. What are the things we can do to bring in more commercial? Our fees. I'm getting complaints. One of the reasons, and the primary reason, is what I'm being told, for people not coming to commercial, not coming to Middleton, our fees are too high. Across the board. Our fees are based on rate studies. Our consultants, they're too high for commercial. They can't swallow them compared to every other city. So we may not smile enough or whatever, but that's the number one complaint. But there are other things too that are problems.
Could we get a hold of STAR's impact fees that they posted and Caldwell's?
Every city has to post their fees online.
Can we do a analysis on comparison and bring it to council? Because I think we need to do that.
Yeah, I'm hearing it from, I haven't done the comparison, but I'm hearing it from other people that, because they start looking at all the other cities right away and they're like, your fees are $15,000 higher for a water line. Jenica and I both had to deal with it all afternoon today.
I know, but that was one of the tricks in development, that you always go in squeaky and you get as much as you can.
Yeah.
The best way for us to know where we're at
Yeah.
is to compare ourselves to our neighbors.
So we need to fine tune a lot of things on commercial. We need to get our zoning out of the Neanderthal age and bring it up more like cities. But we also are maybe going to have to revisit our fees. I'm just saying that it is a real thing. Okay, so, let me see, so I'm basically done reporting, and at this point, I just kind of want to know if there's anything we can, so one of the things Mayor is saying, we can look at our fee and do a fee analysis.
Maybe the second city council meeting in October, would that work for you? And you can let us know later.
I think this is actually a better job for a clerk. This doesn't need, you just have to pull down all the,
And that's fine.
yeah, we'll,
That's fine.
yeah, we'll just
have
give it
oversee
to a clerk. It's not, it is time consuming, but it's not hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you're in charge of the agenda, so you bring it whenever you see fit, and we can work with that. I'm sorry, Councilman.
I don't know that I'm in favor of switching over to letters for zones, because I think then our maps are just gonna look like an alphabet soup.
Oh, no, that was
No.
generic. They realized they needed to be renamed, but for the purposes of conversing, they just were, they go, let's just pick A through G.
Okay, and I have heard from people before about the parking requirements, and that being
Yeah.
a significant difficulty to anybody trying to go in that old downtown corridor. I don't know if I agree with going totally laissez-faire. I think we still need to have some kind of requirements, but significantly loosened.
Yeah, that was one of them said, you know, let them decide their own parking, and if they give themselves crappy parking, people won't go. I don't like to go places where I can't park. So let them kind of decide for themselves, maybe. And then maybe even sidewalk requirements could be changed. I'm finding too that people are starting to gentrify First and Second Street just a little bit. They're building some new things on vacant lots, but there's no sidewalks there. And so then when I tell them, hey, this is a new permit, the last one was 70 years ago, so this is a new permit, you need to put in a sidewalk, right? They think I actually asked for their firstborn child. It's terrible. And I mean, so these are problems too. You know, these are things we might want to think about. Do we really need sidewalks? I mean, there's a lot of work here.
It's like Jackie said, you start high and go low. So first you actually ask for their firstborn child, and then you go down to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Then
Okay. I won't give you my child, but I will give you a sidewalk.
See, it works.
It does.
Roberta, on your issue with the watering of their landscaping areas, all they gotta do is dig a hole 6 feet deep, and they got all the damn water they want.
That
Okay,
is
so,
true.
you know, the irrigation well is not unreasonable. And if they have a problem using this aging irrigation system, as far as I'm concerned, they could fix what's on their property. That's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, if you got irrigation system and it's downgraded, it should be your responsibility to bring it up. to
Well,
code.
it's nowhere in the locale, which makes me wonder how a lot of those homes are irrigating. I wonder that there may be more people on our potable water system than really should be.
Oh, there is.
There's irrigation water, all they want, just 6 feet
And,
down.
and that'll be a problem if we keep letting people stay on our water system to water their petunias. That's a valuable source.
Can you give me any kind of definition so that I can picture it in my mind's eye? So, for example, where would R3 sit on this scale?
On this scale, I would put R3 at kind of the blend of suburban low and suburban high. I don't, he obviously did this for another city, but I think we're less than the 50-50. I think we're shy of that at R3.
Yeah.
I really do.
And our current R3?
Our current R3, yeah. I think you're operating at a deficit. That would be a very important analysis to do too.
I think we need to know that because R3 within the city should not be operating in a deficit. It's when you get into the bigger lots, obviously, that the deficit.
Yeah.
The problem we have here is when you look at this deal, if you try to blend it, you're losing money on one, gaining a little on the other. By the time it balances out, might not even be a push.
Yeah.
For your services, so.
Yeah.
Well, look at the city of Napa.
Yeah.
All the apartments, thousands of them they've built. And grant you, there's HB 389 that came into effect. Now they're having financial problems. They're selling off things and they're not replacing the police officers the way they had hoped. And all those apartments, which we're supposed to, according to the people that we hired and paid good money for accurate information,
Yeah.
not other city information, we don't get to that point until we get to the end of the scale there.
Yeah. Well, this ties into the zones that P&Z set forth. They are amenable to higher density for single-family detached.
I agree, there's a place for it in every city. It's so my kids could move back maybe. Lord knows I can't afford a house here. But to get them started, the only thing I have a real problem with is the 7-foot setbacks.
You have to have a patio.
I just,
On the sides.
on the
just
sides, that
yeah.
side 7-foot setback really, and I would like to talk to Victor, have him talk to us with the fire department, because if they have to travel between two homes with air conditioning, with whatever next to them, that's set, we know at 5 feet and 5 feet, that's 10 feet, that's not enough. And then you put a fence down the middle, right? So now you're decreasing their movability. It just, to me, is not, I want to have a conversation with Vic before we commit to anything, especially on the side setbacks. I understand smaller lots, I understand that starter home concept, and I think there is a place in our city for it. We just got to figure out exactly where it fits best with it. So I mean, that makes our zoning easier for people to understand when you say R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8, whatever, because I don't like those terms, because then you go over to star and it's R whatever, R9, whatever.
R11.
Yeah. So I like the idea of the mixed use or the multifamily or that, a term, so then we understand that, yes, if we're going to have shared common walls, we're going to have things like that. So I think we're on the right track. And I agree with you, we have to get the commercial cleaned up.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make major adjustments for Main Street.
Yes, and I'm the parking, it's troublesome.
What do we have now for Main Street for lots? 10 spots, 5 spots, 3 spots?
For parking, you mean? It's based upon use.
Right, but average. Like if I want
Well,
a restaurant here,
like a restaurant
there,
is 1 stall per 50 square feet of dining space. For retail, it's 1 stall per 300 square feet. For industrial, it's 1 stall per 720 square feet.
So a restaurant is a minimum of 10?
But depends on the size. The larger the size, the dining area, the
Well,
more
right, I'm
parking.
just thinking of the Chinese or a restaurant that is the red
Yeah.
brick one.
Well, and the other thing too is like our stalls, maybe we're a bunch of cowboys, but our stalls are 9 by 21. And you go to Meridian and it is 9 by 17 or 18. And if you do like a 7-foot sidewalk to where you let your bumper can go over 2 feet, then you could do a shorter. I mean, they have all kinds of ways to help with their parking. Our 9 by 21 is big. And that takes up a whole lot of real estate.
Maybe we revisit that. I'm not a fan of no sidewalks though. I don't know where people are gonna walk.
And we
Yeah.
all drive big vehicles, most of us do. I need that extra.
Yeah, and the problem is there's so many lots that don't have sidewalks, and so when then there's this guy, all of a sudden he's got a sidewalk and to nowhere, and it's so unfair. Well, no, you have to start somewhere.
I agree. If as they come in, they gotta build a sidewalk.
Okay.
I swear I remember in our discussions on the comp plan, can you bring up the plum, Roberta? Zoom in on the industrial area south of the river, please. So you've got public blue up next to the river, but I swear we had decided to keep that industrial with high density next to it so that you could have industrial and nearby housing. I don't remember us saying that we would put that as blue for public. I swear that was supposed to be industrial or something. Or maybe flip-flop, like high density up towards the river and then industrial on the south. So go to the right with your marker. Left, yeah, right there, yep, that area.
So let me get my bearings straight. So,
That's following the river. That's right on the river.
yeah, that's
Part of
the park. Most of the blue is the park. And that, see this right here? See, this is Tyler and Spencer's property right there. This
I
is,
know.
This is mostly blue alluvial fan, public trails and that kind of thing. So the high density is right here. See my hand moving? That is the high density. That started in P&Z. They wanted that, and you guys liked it too. And then here's Bass Lane. So Bass Lane and above is high density residential.
Well, I remember having a conversation a while ago where there was somebody that wanted to bring in a golf course there, and we said, no, we don't care about a golf course. We need industrial in this town. We decided that we needed to retain all that stuff south of the river. So I'm probably misremembering, but I swear I had.
No, I thought there might have been a whisper of a golf course. There was a conversation like that, but it wasn't. It didn't come to fruition. You guys did want to keep the industrial. It's very helpful to a city, and we did. But from Bass Lane above, I think it was Alan P&Z, Alan Trimble, who really spearheaded that right here. This is what I remember being asked for.
That
So-
currently sits now, that's a pretty good floodplain, so they'd have to really build that up regardless of what goes in there. I mean, that's all trees and stuff right now.
Yeah, but being south of the river and all, it's not really even feasible to connect it to, say, like the future Riverwalk or anything. It would be independent, but I don't know. I guess conversation for another day.
Council, if I can't, I have my map up. It looks like maybe it's just sort of like an issue of the map being too opaque. I think most of what's in the blue there is like the actual riverbed. There might be one or two
It
small
widens
parcels.
there, and it's just sand. It changes with each winter.
That may be what the confusion is. It's just
Yeah.
the way that it's too opaque to see what's underneath it.
Yeah,
Oh, is that the actual river there?
it
At
is.
least a
It's
good
very
chunk of
wide
it.
there.
Yeah, I can't tell for sure, but that's kind of what it looks like.
It's the river, the park
In
concept, all
between
that
5
right
Mile
there.
Creek and the river.
Yeah.
But high density is right next to it, right in there. So, yeah, that would be great. And I would love to see industrial come in there. Right now, Idaho Power is there, and Idaho Construction or Sands, Idaho Sands, and then the Galvin property. So that's the three main things right there. And until somebody budges or wants to do something, the city just waits.
How long have we had that area designated for industrial? How many years do you know?
When I've looked back of quite a few years, and it predates me, but even when I've gone back and looked at early 2000s, it was there.
So that was annexed in Bass Lane was annexed in Darren Taylor's time, so 10-ish years ago or so. We extended some services out there and brought that online. They drilled a well out there for us at the end of Bass Lane. So that, while on the future it was there, it was not a part of the
But
city.
it wasn't part of the city.
Not
but-
until, I would guess, I mean, it's been obviously a little while ago, but I would say around 8 to 10 years ago, the city annexed it in, they drilled a well. The well's more fire suppression than anything, but it's tied to our system, and then we extended some services to them.
But I think the vision of industrial goes way
Oh, it
back.
is. That's always been.
Oh, yeah, that's been there for a long time.
Yeah, it's always been as Middleton grows, that will be the industrial area on the other side of the river.
I remember the discussions when they were talking about turning that one section out there into a gas plant.
The Garnet
Oh, that was just a
project.
few years ago.
That was early 2000s.
You know, that's still a potentiality.
20
That
years.
ended up going to
Oh, yeah,
Mountain Home.
it's already zoned for it. As far as the county is concerned, it's approved for it,
Yeah.
but it just never got built.
Through the last few federal administrations, Idaho Power was having a hard time doing natural gas because the subsidies for wind and turbines was so high, and that it made sense to go with the wind and turbines, even though natural gas is generally cheap. But now with the new administration, President Trump, natural gas is becoming the thing, and the turbines are no longer subsidized. So I would not be terribly surprised if Idaho Power didn't come back around to say, and the last DA that they signed, and it was actually signed, and I think it was even recorded on the property, I don't remember now, maybe it wasn't recorded, could have been recorded. They were going to give the city $100,000 a year for 40 years, just because they exist, to do with whatever you wanted. But then they ended up going to Mountain Home.
It's because because they met tremendous resistance from the residents.
Yeah,
That
that
was early
too.
2000, about 20 years ago probably.
Resistance from who?
The residents, no one wanted a gas-fired plant out there.
It's not near any residential or anything.
No, just the idea.
It was the
of
people on the other
moving
side
it
of the river that complained the most because they would be able to see the cooling towers.
Well, and people are so afraid of gas, but I had gas in my home for as long as I can remember.
If you want to be afraid of gas, take a look at that freaking tank over there in Nampa and just imagine what would have happened if that fighter jet had hit it instead of hitting
Oh
the
my
ground.
gosh.
I don't even want to think about it.
It would have been a massive explosion, that's for sure.
Okay,
Well, Roberta, I like it. I think you keep moving, you're moving in a positive
Okay.
direction.
So we'll see if we can fine tune these a little bit more and bring in all the other things that we're trying to really bake into this. It's a lot of work. I think that the subdivisions are gonna stay slow, as far as I can tell. I'm hoping, to be able to spend a lot more time on this.
so
I'm
I'd like,
hoping.
I'd like to put it to the council that I would like her to concentrate on Main Street. Get some, and a commercial all along 44.
Yeah.
That's where our priority would be.
Commercial everywhere, I think.
Well, yes.
Let's not pigeonhole it there, because you're talking about a small commercial restaurant versus a potential industrial out there, which they're already building. So that, I think in general, all of it, I mean, that needs to be a focus, so we gotta get those codes buttoned up a little bit.
Well, can we clarify, are we talking the old downtown corridor when you say Main Street, or are you talking all of 44?
All of 44.
Because as long as we're not focusing on that downtown corridor, because so many of those, as you know, the lots are so small that
Yeah.
concentrating there would
Well, there's-
really limit what we can do.
Well, even trying to buy a second lot, if it has any type of a foundation, underground or overground, it's hard to do anything because some of those things are grandfathered in and.
You know, Attorney Waterman can speak more to this too, but one of the tools at the disposal of the city is actual zoning. You can start changing and making things move just by rezoning certain things too. So we have that tool to spur, I don't know.
Yeah, you either could, I guess you could bring a rezone application for the property or change what's permitted in a zone
Yeah,
and transfer it. If you go away from the numbered R zones to something else, then
yeah,
say that which was previously this.
right. So you might have really bad little lots, but once you change the zoning on them, you wake up some developers and they start going, well, I can maybe piece together 2 or 3 of these lots and maybe even some incentives like waiving fees and things like that. I mean, we are going to have to get creative.
One final question, just out of curiosity. What is this random mixed use way over here?
You tell me.
What the?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I
The
looked on the side.
Coburns. I
Well,
know
I
there's
looked
a
on the-
name tied to it.
I looked on the satellite and it looks like a house and a shop. So why are they mixed use?
Somebody knew somebody who knew somebody, and there you go.
All right, fair enough.
I think it was way
Back in
before
the day when all it took was who you knew.
It was a sweetheart deal. Shouldn't say it out loud. Sorry, Douglas.
Okay, Roberta, let's look into that side setback some more because I have to agree with Rob on that. I think 7 feet's way too close.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be, and have a conversation with Victor too.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he fights vehemently. He does not like the 5, but I think I've heard him say 7 is almost okay.
He's pushing it.
He's almost okay with it. He wants as wide as he can get.
I
So
agree
you know,
100%.
I agree with him. I mean, after seeing that subdivision in Boise burned down because
Yeah.
the houses were so close together when the fire came up the ridge, it just burned them all down.
yeah,
And I'd hate to see something like that happen here in Middleton.
that would be bad. So we'll look at Victor and talk to Victor about that. We'll continue working on the codes that have been given to us. We're going to continue to find ways that we can soften or help things. We're going to do a fee analysis, and we just realized we got our work cut out for us.
Agreed.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
I got your reference, don't worry.
Okay, we done?
Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay, we are done. Public comment on non-public hearing items of city business, 3 minutes each. Patrons will be called to speak at the podium based on sign-in sheet posted at the back of the public meeting room.
And it's blank, darn.
So now I will speak. The only comment is I wanted to update the city council that we only have 5 people on our planning and zoning. We have been at 5 for several months, and I neglected to tell you folks that. And I apologize. Staff?
No comments.
I do have something.
Oh,
I actually want to call Jennifer up really quickly. Today is officially her last city council before she transitions into her next role at the city. And so she wanted to just make a comment.
I thought you were about to say last day, and I was.
I thought she said it for last.
What did the mayor do now?
No, I am still working with the city. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I appreciate so much the opportunity to be able to have worked with all of you over the last, I don't even know, 6, 7 years as I'm okay. Phew, I'm gonna hold it together. As I've been able to work in this role with planning and zoning and with city council. So I appreciate you all so much, and I'm not going away. I just have my office back in the corner, so you're welcome to come visit me and say hi. But I really do appreciate the opportunity to serve with each of you and to learn so very much from previous clerks and planning and zoning and all of that. I really do appreciate this opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will miss you.
Council, anyone?
We're good.
We're good. So what is the time?
6:56.
6:56, and we are adjourned.
All right. Thanks,
You
Titus.
found this old picture of American